across the ocean of material suffering. And attain mercy of Krishna. I only wish to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from the lotus mouth. Attachment to the lotus feet is the perfection of Prabhu of all desires. He opens my heart and eyes, fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him exact prema emanates, blind and ignorance is destroyed. We made the scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy. Friend of the poor, the Lord and master of the devotees. All master, believers, all unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of your lotus feet. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Is this here or a smaller one? Give me big ones.
Okay, you go. You do the mic. First. I get to see it.
It's like Christ carrying his own cross.
There's a Vedic regulation. There's a Vedic regulation. The speaker is not supposed to carry the Vyasa Sangha. You didn't know?
Where does that say that in Scripture?
It says Smriti regulation. I don't know the actual chapter and verse.
Well, I'm carrying it because it's for the Bible, not for me.
But then they say the devotees also learn to Bible tongue.
Yeah, somewhere. On that level.
I think we do that regularly.
Oh, it has to be on the discussion.
But it became a thing, you know. And then, like the custom, it's not even bona fide. It's not grammatically, it's not in song. In this temple, in this temple, in other temples. So why is that the end of the world? Loyalist? Yeah, I long to have a loyalist. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's good. But it's not in the song. It's not in the song, but it's not in the it was added law, right? You know, for the 80s, 90s, you know, there's like that's kind of fine. It doesn't work grammatically. Nothing else. So it doesn't work grammatically. Yeah. It's not in the song. It doesn't drop it.
So what trees are they trimming? This side, that side?
This one.
Good thing we got the right one.
Yeah, my wife is like that. I called it.
I think for a little work.
It doesn't get enough sun.
Right. That was the karmic.
That was unintentional.
That was a karmic.
No idea that the microphone was going to do that. That's how they choose who gets last, though, when the microphone falls.
Right.
I want to take the seat. Why the volume can't be this because of master volume? Who's in the
Repeat to do with the master.
There you go. Hare Krishna. Well, yeah, there you go. How's that possible? Twum. Did you write that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic handwriting. It's like rows of pearls. Sitting like Rupa Goswamis. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram.
What did that take us now?
Takes like 32.
Oh.
I have a thing on here that tells me the time. 7:56. What time is that? Oh, that's so the person ends early or on time?
I think we dropped it by accident when we were reading.
Okay, there's two of us now. You can start.
Hay un poco agua para el profesor que habla en el srimadbhagavatam, por favor.
El srimadbhagavatam?
No, agua.
Oh, agua?
Oh, water. Give me some water.
You want
Where's the cup?
special cup or the thing?
Anything.
Okay. I don't know where that special cup
He
is.
said,
It disappeared. How could it do
they
that?
say it's in the Krishna lounge somewhere, lounging around.
Before. I'm reminded of that poem by Yeats. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget the rest of it.
Things fall
I
apart,
think
the
what's
center
happening
cannot
is
hold.
The center is all right. I'm going to turn this off.
Fine. I was wondering about
Forgetting
investing
to
in
turn it
ceiling
on.
fans
I'm sorry?
on the altar. Ceiling fans on the
Oh,
altar.
that's
That
a
would
big cost.
probably.
Problem is, get up there and clean it, they've got to get very dusty. At least these, they can see and get clean. I bought these years ago. Oh, yeah. You're most expert in percussion. These probably aren't your favorites.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachariya Jamunatira Vanachariya Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sri Radha Madhava ki Sri Radha Giridhari ki srimadbhagavatam ki Gaura Premanandi Jayo Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivraj Vichara Shobhit Shri Madhava Bhai Chamaranavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajika Jai Jai Shuddha Shri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaura Premananda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories. Sri Guru and Sri Gaura. Rupa Goswami glorifies 5 activities specifically in devotional service. Rupa Goswami, maybe Jiva Goswami also. So if you get these 5 activities, one is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, it is.
It's like living in a holy place, serving the deities, chanting the holy names, associating with devotees, right? And he says any one of these 5, if you do them nicely, you can attain bhava, the state of bhava. They're so powerful.
The lucky 4.
The lucky 4. Yeah.
Plus internet land.
Hare Krishna. Is it really going
I
on?
have to wait a day.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you never know. You may say something you don't want to go out there.
Oh, I say things I don't want to go out there all the time.
No, I can't go out there.
I have to stay inside. So this is text 32. Due to the, what's a good word? Vicissitudes or whatever, old age and absent-mindedness, I studied for a completely wrong verse.
Oh.
It's a real nice verse, though, about Tri Yuga. Have we done that one already? I don't know. It's one of these chapters.
I don't remember.
So I felt quite purified.
You don't remember if it was ahead or behind the first?
I don't know, because I saw your text, and just as I was going to write it down, I was going to write it down, I got a phone call. So I came back around saying, Anyways, so this is a very ecstatic verse also.
6 options.
Yes. So who's speaking here?
Prabhu.
Who's he speaking to? So it's a divine conversation. You can't talk to God. Isn't there conversations with God or this famous book that came out years ago or something like that? Conversations with, what was his name? He spoke, his whole book was a whole movement, Conversations with God or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't on the level of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I assure you.
Oh, the imaginary.
Yeah, it was. He had a dream. There was conversation with God, but there's a big following and all that, and lasted a few years, and that was. I guess people got tired of the conversation.
We had one of our sannyasis, GBC, right a last puja offering like that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I was conversing with Prabhu, and we had a whole thing about it. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. So this is chapter 24 of the 3rd canto, text 32. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatojam Mudiraya. There we go. Oh, not too big. Is that it?
Yeah.
We're cutting the tree. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hope the tree doesn't feel too much pain. Tvam surabhi sattva bubut sudyadha sada vibhava dahana parampitam Aishvarya vairagya yashova bodha Girya Shriya Purtamaham Prabhadye Tvam Surabhistattva Bubhut Sayadha Sada Vivardhanhana Padapitam Aishvarya Vairagya Yashov Babodha Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prabhadye Tvam Surabhistattva Babhut Sadyadha Sada Vivadharnhana Padabhitam Aishvarya Vairagya Yashova Bodha Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prabhadye Tvam Suribhistattva Babhut Sayadha Sada Vivadharnhana
Aishvarya Vairagya Yashova Bodha
Aishvarya Vairagya Yashova Bodha
Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye
Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye
Tvam Suribhistattva Vibhutsayadha
Tvam Suribhistattva Vibhutsayadha
Sada Vivadharhana Padapitam
Sada Vivadharhana Padapitam
Aishvarya Vairagya Yashova Bodha
Aishvarya Vairagya Yashova Bodha
Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye
Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye Tvam Suribhistattva Survistattva Bubutsayadha Sada Vivadarhana Padapitam Aishwarya Vairagya Yasho Vibodha Vira Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye From Survistattva Bubutsayadha Sada Vivadarhana Padapitam Aishwarya Vairagya Yasho Vibodha Virya Shriya Purtamaham Prapadye
Tvam, unto you, Suribihi, by the great sages, Tattva, the absolute truth, Bhutsaya, with a desire to understand, Adha, certainly, Sada, always, Abhivada, of worshipable respects, Arhana, which are worthy, Pada, of your feet, Pittam, to the seat, Aishwarya, opulence, Vairagya, renunciation, Yashaha, fame, Avabodha, knowledge, Virya, strength, Shriya, with beauty, Purtam, who are full, Aham, I, Prapadye, surrender. Translation. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. Please repeat. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. Actually, those who are searching after the absolute truth must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worship Him. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna advised Arjuna many times to surrender unto Him, especially at the end of the 9th chapter, Manmana Bhavamad Bhaktu. If you want to be perfect, just always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances to me. In this way you will understand me, the personality of Godhead, and ultimately you will come back to me. Back to Godhead, back home. Why is it so? The Lord is always full in 6 opulences as mentioned herein: wealth, renunciation, fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. The word purtam means in full. No one can claim that all wealth belongs to him, but Krishna can claim it, since he has full wealth. Similarly, he is full in knowledge, renunciation, strength, and beauty. He is full in everything, and no one can surpass him. Another one of Krishna's names is Asamurdva, that which means no one is equal to or greater than him. Asam, equal, Urdhva, greater. No one's Sama, equal, Urdhva, greater. No one's greater equal than Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Karanjana Shalakaya Chaksulun Minitam Dena Taismai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimadbhagavatam Ki Jai. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. This is definitely the theme when devotees meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One of surrender, because that's our nature. They don't do something else. Right? That's our understanding. Of course, there are those who people approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead for different reasons. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. There's 4 kinds of pious people who approach God. What's one of them, Balaram?
One of surrender.
People want money. Another one?
Because that's our
distress. Inquisitive and
do something else.
Curious. Well, seeking for knowledge, like it's described here. And there is a progression there because, especially the first 2, wealth and distress, you seek those things, but as soon as you're satisfied, you give up your surrendering process. It's like placing an order for something. You're not really interested in the place; you want the order. It's like if you call up Domino's today, you want some pizza? It's the pizza you want. Make sure it's offered. Just pay an extra $1, they'll offer it. So it's like that. Just like Prabhupada said, you pray to give us our daily bread. It's love of bread, not God. It's what God can give you is what's more important than God. So, and as soon as the distress goes away, as soon as there is some financial stability, one is no longer interested in worshiping God. So it's not pure. Pure means that there's no motive, there's no conditions. Unconditional, you hear that expression all the time. Unconditional, there's no conditions. Because you make those conditions and you don't get the conditions met, what happens? You stop worshiping. And this doesn't work. People say that all the time. Right? That's the difficulty with a lot of these newer movements, spiritual movements, religious movements, Christian movements especially, television, televangelists, boy, the televangelist, alien or something. But, there's a whole thing about, I was listening to one, who was speaking about this, in South America, and there's a church, and next to the church, right next to the church, like about 5 feet from it, they're building a skyscraper practically, a multi-story building. And Maharaj is explaining, he asked the devotees, what's going on here? And the church and everything is a famous televangelist in South America, one of those countries. And he's promising everyone that if you pray to God in the way I say pray to God, you'll become wealthy. And he's making a lot of money. And that building next door is all these people who want to have a condo right next to his church. Like that, because they're convinced that if they hang out with him and so on, they'll get very, very wealthy. Like that. So that's the motivation. It's like it's an amazing thing. But what happens if you don't get wealthy? What happens if you pray and the disease doesn't go away? What happens if you pray and the distressful situation gets worse? What happens? This doesn't work. You lose faith. There's no God. Your God's not good enough. I have to find some other God. Maybe it's a false God I'm praying to. Something like that. So, right here in the very first line of the verse, Kardama Muni's realization is that Krishna's lotus feet, in the form of Kapila Dev, but your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. So, the lotus feet of Krishna, those are the real thing. And the second part of the verse, what it reminds me of there's that Christian philosopher, Anselm. You've heard of him, Anselm? He made a statement that God is that person whom no greater person can one conceive of. Sounds pretty good. God is that person whom no greater person can be conceived of. So that's pretty good. And apparently atheists have a hard time with that. It's so simple, but... And Rupa Goswami, in the Nectar Devotion, that's what he's doing. He's the same understanding that, okay, you have all these different deities in the pantheon of Vedic culture. Well, who is really on top? would be that person who no greater person can be conceived of. And he starts dividing all these different qualities, and especially the top, the up, what do you go?
He made a statement which
The three runners, top, what do you call it? When someone's like the top three in a race.
sounds pretty good. God is that person.
No, but that's expression that when you got three people, they're all first, second, and third. The runners, top runners, runner-uppers. Okay, you got three runner-uppers. You got Krishna, Shiva, and Brahma, right? So when he explains in that section that of the 64 qualities, Lord Brahma has only 50-something, right? Is it Jiva? Then Lord Shiva has, okay, and Lord Vishnu has, and so there's 4 runner-uppers, but Krishna has 64. There's 4 qualities that Krishna has that they don't have. Therefore, envelope please, he must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because there's no greater person you can conceive of. And that's one thing to discuss with people. What is their conception of God? What is the conception of God in Islam? What is the conception of God in Christianity? What is the conception of God in Buddhism? It's void. That's definitely, build on that one. There's nothing, right? Or something impersonal. It's all up from there.
Explains in that section that of the 64 qualities, Lord Brahma has only 50.
Panwala down the street's got more qualities than their God, right? So that's interesting. But this is it's a logical, or just observation. You know, who's the richest person in SanDiego? Well, of course, you're about to get SanDiego magazine out, one of their issues on who's the richest people in town, and they'll tell you this guy's worth this many billion, and he owns downtown, whatever. So you know who it is. Look at the bank. That probably says someone who says they have a lot of money. Well, let's see your bank balance. You know, so if you say you're God, well, let's see something. Right? Prabhupada said that's one reason Arjuna asked Krishna to show the universal form. Someone says they're God, well, let's see something. Let's see some godliness, right? Instead of having your stomach pump from eating. There was one God back in the 70s who had his stomach pumped because he ate too much ice cream, right? So what kind of God is that? Can't even digest a few ice cream cones, right? So what kind of God is that? So Prabhupada, there was that story about some radio show in Los Angeles, one of these shock jocks that they call them. Back when Prabhupada was on the station.
Who's the richest person in
And this is a shock jock in Australia, because True tells the story. And one of the questions the guy so there was a picture of Krishna there. They brought, so this is your God? This is your God?
Who it is?
And Prabhupada said, well, what is your concept of God? You show me a better God. Shut him right up. You couldn't say anything. Yes. Do you have a better God? What is your concept? What is your concept of God? Because you ask anyone that, they can talk for maybe 30 seconds. Well, he's all powerful, and, something like that. So, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? It's the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's the point. But just different levels of revelation according to the purity of the devotees, I guess you could say. And that's true for all of us. Our revelation of Krishna is based upon our purity, because Krishna reveals himself, and that's what's described here in the pulpit also. Prabhupada says this verse, Manmana Bhavaman Bhakto, it's there in the 9th chapter and also in the last chapter, the 18th chapter. That this is the whole essence, you can say, of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna saying, Manmana, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your respects to me, and this way you'll come to me. I guarantee it.
This is your God?
He's guaranteeing it. So this is the surrendering process. And Krishna is that person who's worthy to surrender to. He is the Supreme Personality of God, by this definition of being full in all opulences. What is the word here? Pur tam, who are full. Therefore I surrender unto you. And what does that surrender mean? Sometimes it's brought up. Different words for surrender. What does it actually mean? Does it mean like our concept is in a battlefield, you give up and you wave a little white flag? I give up. The I give up. Actually, it's a continuous revelation of Krishna as the Supreme Lord and I am His eternal servant.
Purity, because Krishna reveals
It's just
himself
accepting
as described here.
a reality. It's not a defeat, it's actually a victory. If you think about it, it isn't surrender, it'd be a fully, do you conceive in your tiredness? Do you conceive that being a fully surrendered soul to Krishna is a good thing? Yeah. Is it a great thing? Is it like the best thing could possibly happen to you in your life? That one day you wake up and you are fully surrendered to Krishna. When the material world thinks surrendered means defeat. Defeat. But it's actually, it's completely different. It's completely different. Surrender for us means victory. What's the victory? Over the modes of material nature. Over this great Bhava Sagra, right? Ocean of material existence which we've been drowning in since time immemorial. Those Lord Chaitanya praying. Ayi nandatanuji kinkaram patitam mam vishame babam buddha. Somehow or other I fall into this great ocean. Not a puddle, not a little pond or a lake or swimming pool. Great ocean where you cannot even conceive of how vast it is. Being tossed and turned, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Sometimes drowning, sometimes barely me.
It's not a defeat, it's actually
Please
victory.
deliver me, and even if it's just a little particle of dust at your lotus feet. And that's all I want. That's complete perfection.
Do you conceive
That's Krishna's lotus feet.
Krishna's a good thing?
Krishna's lotus. You can sit up there if you like.
Is it a great thing? Is it like the best thing could possibly happen to you in your life? That one day you wake up and you are fully
As it's saying, if you have insomnia, go to Bhagavatam class. So I don't know if it's me, or maybe I'm good in good class and you're falling asleep because you have insomnia, or maybe you're bored. I don't know. You need some more sleep at night. You're working too hard.
It's completely different. Surrender for us means victory. What's the victory? Over the modes.
So Krishna has these different opulences in full, and he displays them. That's why Krishna comes. He shows, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He displays these opulences to a greater degree than anyone has ever displayed before. One very simple example would be the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is the ABCs of spiritual life, and it's what greater literature is there as far as an understanding of the absolute truth. It surpasses anything that's out there, and you say, oh, everyone says that. People say, Christians say the Bible is better than anything else. In Islam, they say the Quran. Even they say in the Quran that Muhammad, they accepted Jesus Christ and all that. But the final word, the ultimate realization, the best realization, the param sattva, is what Muhammad said with his sword. But if you just stand back a little and look at it, put them out. Let's have an honest discussion about these things. Let's not be dogmatic. We're not saying Bhagavad Gita is a better philosophical and theological treatise than these books just because we belong to the club. Just look at it. Look at it. Okay, line it up. You do it. No, okay. In this book, what is the description of God? What is the description of the soul? What's the description of why are we in this material world? What's the spiritual world? Look at it.
Opulences in full, and he displays them. That's why Krishna comes. He shows. I am the Supreme Personality.
The fact that Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita, and 5,000 years later, it's still on the top on the chart. Right? You know why that is? You got a benediction from the spiritual master.
The Bhagavad Gita is the ABCs
right? You know
of spiritual life.
That's why. So you have to get a benediction from your guru.
Greater literature is there as far as
sincere service. Sandapani Muni blessed him that whatever he spoke would be ever fresh. So that's just one thing, knowledge. That's just a simple teaching. Bhagavad Gita, and still it's number one. Not on everything else Krishna says. He's the reservoir of all transcendent. Because he is. He's the goal. He's like that. So his renunciation, his opulence, he displayed all of these. And just like we live here in Govardhan, Govardhan. So Krishna's strength. There's a little boy lifting a mountain with his left hand, with the pinky of his left hand. 4, just like they have these contests, Olympics. They walk up there and they grab whatever, how much that is, 1,000 pounds, and they go, "Ah!" and they scream and they lift it for 10 seconds and drop it and bam, and everyone, "Ah!" That's it, and they win because they lifted something for like 10 seconds, right? Right, the big guys.
Why are we in this material world? What's the spirit?
Yeah, and they got these big belts on and things like that, so they don't bust their back out. And they just like scream and they drop it. That's weightlifting. So Krishna lifts a whole mountain for 7 days.
5,000 years later,
and everyone, and actually he manifested a whole Vrindavan underneath the town. You know that? It wasn't everyone was under all these rocks and everything. He manifested like a whole city, whole village under there, all the grass for the cows, and everyone was completely satisfied. Like that. And then he set it down. Exactly.
That was sincere service.
Just to show.
Whatever he spoke would be ever fresh.
No, we know that he's manifesting unlimited universes and holding all of those up by his potency, but we're understanding what it means that God is great. And that's our Lord. That's Krishna. We're tiny. We're meant to take shelter. There's asrita and asraya, the two principles. The shelter and that which takes shelter. So the problem in the material world is we think we're the shelter. We're not. We're meant to take shelter. And we're happy. 2 examples Prabhupada gives is one is like a dog. He's walking on the beach in Bombay, in Juhu. And there's so many dogs there. And sometimes you see a nice Indian gentleman walking a dog, being very Western. And you're saying, that dog is very happy because you have these other stray dogs. Some devotee told me he showed up in Bombay. In the beginning it was a construction site. The very first day he shows up, he goes for a walk, Prabhupada, and he's kind of catching up and so on. And he goes a little ahead. He's walking along, and all of a sudden all these stray dogs start running at him, barking like they're going to devour him. So he just stood there. They all ran by him. He was so scared. It was like first day in India, and he's going to be devoured by a pack of rabid dogs on the beach in Bombay. And welcome to India. So he just just shut his eyes. Okay. But anyways, Prabhupada pointed out why is that dog? Because he's a good master. He's happy. He's perfect. He's got a good master. If you have a good master, these other dogs are scrounging around like that, eating who knows what on the beach. Old pieces of coconut and trash and Another example on the beach Prabhupada would give is the fish. The little fish, they're in the water, but because that's their element, they're quite happy. That's their shelter. So why are we not happy as we're taking shelter of something which gives us no shelter? It's like being in a bad relationship. You ever been in a bad relationship? You said that with a big smile on your face. Tell us about that at breakfast. Yeah, I know. I was like, wow. You have bad relationship. It's like, it's horrible, right? It's like, I gotta get out of this. There's no happiness in a bad relationship. Right? So we have a bad relationship going on here with our material body and the material world. And it's a bad relationship. It's going to go nowhere. I'm going to tell you in a bad relationship, they say, get out. Right? Larry, get out. You're going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. Right? He's not meant to be in that relationship. It's not going anywhere. Break it off. So where is this relationship going?
In the beginning was a construction site. In the very first day
Death.
he shows up.
Right? Birth, death, disease, and old age. Wow, that's exciting. That's where it's going. If we think it's going anywhere else, just wait. Right? So the devotees were here from the weekend and for the memorial, and they hadn't been here for a while. They say, a lot of old devotees around. Right? A lot of gray hair, a lot of white hair. Right? You don't see someone in 20, 30 years, and it's like, whoa, things are happening. Right? So those pictures of Sankirtan with Sandamani, and it's like, whoa, we were that young? We were that young? We look like these devotees here? Wow, those were the days. You figured all about it. And now look at us. So, but that's where the relationship's going. Dead end. It's a dead end relationship. So why take shelter of a dead end relationship? Some people do that. When we talk about them, they always pick a spouse or a partner. that's abusive or something like that. They just, what's going on? They need
So
some
why are we not
counseling,
happy to
because they
give
always pick
shelter,
an abusive or neglectful or
that gives us
some type of a partner,
It's like
and
being
they always
in a
get
bad
beat up,
relationship.
psychologically or physically or whatever. Both men and women, men get beat up too by their wives. There's a whole thing about that. It's kind of hush hush because guys don't like to say my wife's beating me up.